Star Trek: Discovery is an American television series created by Bryan Fuller and Alex Kurtzman for the streaming service CBS All Access. Premiering in 2017, it is the seventh Star Trek series and was the first since Star Trek: Enterprise concluded in 2005. It follows the crew of the starship Discovery, beginning a decade before Star Trek, the original series in the 23rd century. At the end of the second season, Discovery travels to the 32nd century, which is the setting for subsequent seasons. Sonequa Martin Green stars as Michael Burnham, a science specialist on Discovery who eventually becomes captain. Doug Jones, Shazad Latif, Anthony Rapp, Mary Wiseman, Jason Isaacs, Wilson Cruz, Anson Mount, David Ajala, Rachel Ankerl, Blue Del Barrio, and Tig Notaro also star. The series was announced in November 2015, with Fuller set as showrunner. He left due to creative differences with CBS and was replaced by Gretchen J. Berg and Aaron Harberts, with producing support from Akiva Goldsman for the first season. Berg and Harberts were fired by CBS during production on the second, and Kurtzman took over as showrunner. He was joined by Michelle Paradise beginning with the third season. Star Trek: Discovery is produced by CBS Studios in association with Secret Hideout and Roddenberry Entertainment. It is filmed at Pinewood Toronto Studios in Toronto, Canada, as well as on location around the world. Designs from the Star Trek franchise were reinvented for the series to take advantage of modern techniques and visual effects. It premiered on September 24, 2017, on CBS and CBS All Access. The rest of the 15-episode first season was streamed weekly on All Access, ending in February 2018. The 14-episode second season was released on All Access from January to April 2019, and the 13-episode third season ran from October 2020 to January 2021. The 13-episode fourth season was released on Paramount and from November 2021 to March 2022. A 10-episode fifth season was ordered in January 2022 and is expected to be released in 2023. The series release led to record subscriptions for CBS All Access, and it became the most viewed original series on both All Access and Paramount+. It has received positive reviews from critics, who have highlighted Martin Green's performance and the time jump to the 32nd century, as well as numerous accolades, including Primetime Emmy Awards for its prosthetic makeup and visual effects. The series began an expansion of the Star Trek franchise, leading to multiple new series including the companion short series Star Trek, Short Treks and the spin-off Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Various tie-in media and 2 official aftershows have also been produced based on the series. Premise: Diana Bishop, a historian and reluctant witch, unexpectedly discovers a bewitched manuscript in Oxford's Bodleian Library. This discovery forces her back into the world of magic in order to unravel the secrets it holds about magical beings. She is offered help by a mysterious geneticist and vampire Matthew Claremont. Despite a long-held mistrust between witches and vampires, they form an alliance and set out to protect the book and solve the mysteries hidden within while dodging threats from the creature world. Cast and characters. Main. Teresa Palmer as Diana Bishop, D. Phil, a witch and tenured historian at Yale University, studying alchemy and science at the University of Oxford. Matthew Good as Matthew Claremont, a vampire and professor of biochemistry. Edward Blumel as Marcus Whitmore, Matthew Claremont's vampire son and lab colleague. Louise Brealey as Gillian Chamberlain, a fellow witch and academic alongside Diana at Oxford. Malin Buska as Sata Jarvinen, a Finnish witch and a congregation member. A. E. Shahart as Miriam Shepherd, vampire, and Matthew's scientific colleague at Oxford. Owen Teale as Peter Knox, a high-ranking witch and a member of the congregation. Alex Kingston as Sarah Bishop, Diana's aunt. Valerie Pettiford as Emily Mather, Sarah's partner. Greg Chillen as Domenico Michel, a vampire and congregation member. Ilarica Johnson as Juliette Durand, a vampire, daughter of Gerbert. Greg McHugh as Hamish Osborne, a daemon and friend of Matthew. Trevor Eve as Gerbert d'Aurillac, an ancient vampire and a congregation member. Daniel Ezra as Nathaniel Wilson, a daemon, son of Agatha. Aisling Loftus as Sophie Wilson, a daemon, wife of Nathaniel, and as Susanna Norman, a witch. Tanya Moody as Agatha Wilson, a daemon and congregation member. Sorka Cusack as Marth, a vampire, housekeeper to Isabeau. Tristan Gravel and Peter MacDonald as Baldwin Montclair, a vampire, brother of Matthew and head of the congregation. Lindsay Duncan as Isabeau de Clermont, mother of Matthew Clermont and wife of Philippe de Clermont. Holly Aird as Françoise, a vampire. Tom Hughes as Kit Marlowe, playwright and friend of Matthew. Michael Lindahl as Walter Raleigh. Sheila Hancock as Goody Alsop, a witch. Paul Rees as Andrew Hubbard, a vampire. Stephen Cree as Gallo Glass, son of the late Hugh de Clermont and nephew of Matthew. Adele Leonce as Phoebe Taylor, a human who becomes involved with Marcus. Elaine Cassidy as Louisa de Clermont, sister of Matthew. James Purefoy as Philippe de Clermont, husband of Isabeau, father of Baldwin and stepfather of Matthew. Michael Gibson as Rudolph II, Holy Roman Emperor and King of Bohemia. Olivier Huband as Fernando Goncalves, a vampire, partner of the late Hugh de Clermont. Jacob Iffen as Benjamin Fuchs, a vampire. Ivano Jeremiah as Christopher Roberts, friend of Diana. Toby Rigbo as Jack Blackfriars. Joshua Pickering as young Jack Blackfriars. Parker Sawyers as Ransom Fairweather, a vampire. Recurring and guest. Adetomiwa Dunn as Sean, an employee at the Bodleian Library. Sophia Miles as Rebecca Bishop, Diana's mother. David Newman as Stephen Proctor, Diana's father. Chloe Dumas as Meridiana, a witch. Milo Toomey as Pierre, a vampire. Barbara Martin as Elizabeth I, Queen of England. Adrian Rollins as William Cecil. Adam Sklar as Henry Percy. Amanda Hale as Mary Sidney. Struan Roger as John D. Anton Lesser as Rabbi Lau. Lois Chimimba as Catherine Streeter, a witch. Amy McAllister as Marjorie Cooper, a witch. Victoria Yates as Elizabeth Jackson, a witch. Genesis Leaney as Geraldine Nookops, a vampire. Shobu Kapoor as Linda Crosby, a witch. Faldit Sharma as T.J. Weston, a daemon. Episodes. Series 1. Series 2. Series 3. Production. Warner Brothers purchased the film rights to A Discovery of Witches in 2011. The film was in the early stages of development, with few details released beyond the signing on of playwright David Auburn to pen the screenplay and producers Denise de Novi and Alison Greenspan. British entertainment channel Sky One bought the rights for the books, to adapt them into a television program. Teresa Palmer was cast as Diana Bishop and Matthew Good was cast as Matthew Clermont. After 6 months of filming, it was completed on February 16, 2018. Much of the work was filmed in Wales, on location, and at Bad Wolf Studios in Cardiff. On November 2, 2018, Sky One renewed A Discovery of Witches for a second and a third series before the first series finale was broadcast. A first look at the second series was released in September 2019. In December 2019, it was announced that the filming for the next series was completed in the UK, and the rest of the filming would take place in Italy. During the New York Comic Con's virtual event in October 2020, it was reported that the third series was filming at Wolf Studios in Cardiff. A trailer for the third series was released in October 2021. Release. The program premiered in the UK on Sky One on September 14, 2018 with its first series of 8 episodes. Streaming on Now TV also started on that date after each episode was broadcast. The international distribution of the program is handled by Sky Vision. From January 2019, the series became available on AMC's subscription services Sundance Now, Shudder, and AMC Premiere. It was announced by AMC Networks at the TCA press tour that the show would be making its American television debut on April 7, 2019 on AMC and BBC America, being paired with Killing Eve's second season. The second series was initially released in its entirety on January 8, 2021, consisting of 10 episodes, and continued to air weekly on Sky One. The third series is scheduled to be released on Sundance Now, Shudder, and AMC and on January 8, 2022. Reception. Critical reception. The program received positive reviews from critics, who praised the adaptation, the production, and the performances of the cast. On Rotten Tomatoes, 94% of 33 critics have given the first series a positive review, with an average rating of 7/10. The website's critical consensus reads, "A discovery of witches smartly grounds its flights of fancy with a lived-in authenticity and harnesses the chemistry between its two star-crossed leads to make for a promising foray into the occult." For the second series, Rotten Tomatoes collected 21 critic reviews and identified 81% of them as positive, and the average rating is 6.8/10. The consensus states, "Grounded by Matthew Good and Teresa Palmer's infectious chemistry and a healthy dose of visual splendor, A Discovery of Witches' sophomore season makes slipping eras look easy." Metacritic, another aggregator, assigned the first series an average score of 67 out of 100 based on 13 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews.